Hello, I just wanted to say something really quick before we start this episode. Thank you for listening. It's really appreciated. Keep listening. That would be great, especially to this episode. It's a great little festive one. Got a really good special guest. If you've been enjoying the show for the last couple of months, please do interact with it. You know, I'm on Twitter at HGWpod. Tweet at that. Hashtag with your thoughts at hashtag HGWpod. Go on iTunes. Get subscribed on it. It's the latest thing of technology. Give it a rating maybe and say, really good, funnies and unique. Never heard something like this before. If that's what you want. If you even maybe you want to be on the show, or you got some questions for the show, then I've got email. Would you believe it? HGWpodcast@gmail.com. I'll answer your questions. Maybe I'll even ask my own. Who knows? And if you want to be on the show, hit me up there. But yeah, cheers, and there'll be some more episodes in the new year. But for now, enjoy this Christmas special. Merry Christmas! Oh boy, what a time it is. A time to explore yourself, time to explore others. It's Christmas. And aren't we all happy that it's coming at this time of the year? Because we're fed up of this year. So, settle down. Get rid of all that stress that you've had. And just sit down and listen to the host, the guest, and the wardrobe. And it's a Christmas special this week, so how excellent and festive. Now, as is tradition with Christmas specials, we mixed it up a little bit and brought in a special guest. I wouldn't usually have this kind of person in the wardrobe, but I felt like to being taking with all the festivities, I'd bring in such a character, such a person that I feel would lighten up everyone's mood. And some would say he is the person that spearheads the Christmas movement, if that's what you want to call it. Who knows? But anyway, without further ado, I will introduce to you Santa, or Saint Nick. Are you in the wardrobe?
Aye.
Wasn't expecting that voice.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm in the wardrobe, mate.
You in the wardrobe?
Aye.
How is it in there?
Larger than I was expecting, to be honest. But
Yep.
then again, I'm a very large man.
You are. Are you as depicted in many drawings and cartoons and films? Are you as that kind of figure? You are quite large and bubbly as a figure.
I mean, inevitably, if enough people try to, if you give 1,000 monkeys 1,000 typewriters, eventually they will type Santa.
Okay, I guess, as we all know. But so, are you used to being in confined spaces like that? Because when you're working at your factory, because you have got one, haven't you?
Aye.
Yep, and you're getting your elves, slaving them about.
I mean, that's a particularly harsh way of putting it. I mean, before the elven peoples were sort of just lying around, not really contributing to the world economy. So,
Well, I disagree. From what I hear, you're not paying them good. You're basically paying them below minimum wage, and in Lapland, that's atrocious money. So, what's the deal? Get it out of here.
Have you even been to Lapland?
No, and I don't want to.
You're just judging the culture of the Laplanders.
I'm allowed to do that. Am I not?
No.
Oh, whoops. Sorry then.
It's an awful faux pas that you've made.
I'll take it all back then.
Good.
Maybe I'll come back to that. So, right, you're coming here. What I'm questioning though is, it must be really busy at the moment at your place.
Aye.
Because we've got 1 week of the time of this recording. It's the 17th next week is Christmas Eve, so you need to be getting a move on, don't you? Because you go out there and do your droppings, if that's what you want to call it.
I regularly do call it my droppings.
Yeah. So, so you're really busy then.
I mean, not that busy that I kind of sit in a wardrobe for...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's why you're getting... I don't want to bring it up again, but you're getting there, those elves, and getting them to slave away over there, whilst you get to go in a wardrobe. I'm happy you're here, but I'm just questioning why you're here, because it's a bit weird.
Well, I was having a chat with my agent basically, and they were kind of like, they've noticed that I've been getting quite a bit of bad publicity over the recent years, you know.
Yeah.
Because
I've
a
noticed.
lot of kids don't understand why Santa gives them like shittier presents than other like richer kids.
Yeah.
And that's basically because I think that if I were to truly give out gifts equally, that would really fuck with the free market. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you don't want them to have an unrealistic representation of society for when they grow up.
You got to think about realpolitik.
Okay,
you know?
That's interesting, because I just thought Christmas was just about... You forgot about that stuff, and you just got on with everything else.
Yeah,
so...
but I have to do Christmas 365 days of the year, sometimes more.
Yeah, but you don't actually do every day's Christmas.
No, but I have to think about it all the time. And if I was gonna pretend that the world was a happy place, then, you know, we wouldn't get anything done.
So you're a realist Santa. Has there been any Santas before you? Is there only ever been you? Is it like a family tradition? It goes down, so your son will be Santa next. Is it a bit like the Tim Allen film?
But which Tim Allen film?
The Santa.
The Santa. I've not seen it, mate. So I've not seen the Santa.
It's a documentary about Santa Claus. It follows Santa Claus around. This guy becomes Santa, and they kind of like, a bit like Louis Theroux, they kind of question him a bit, and it's just like, oh, well, I'm Santa now, I'm getting fatter, growing a beard I can't get rid of. Is it like that?
I did get contacted by Louis Theroux, but basically I'm not a paedophile, so he wasn't interested.
I mean, they did that like only a couple of times.
He did what? Louis Theroux was a paedophile a couple of times.
I don't want to accuse him of that because I respect Louis Theroux.
No, so do I. I think he's a perfectly respectable documentary maker, and that's why I was wondering why you were making these accusations.
You see, you misunderstanding. I wasn't doing that. What I was saying is he's only documented paedophiles a couple of times. He's not one himself or had previous cases of that. We're getting off subject. We want to get back to Christmas. So, Mr. Santa, Saint Nick, if I can call you that. Is that all right?
Go ahead. I mean, some would say that it's quite archaic and perhaps, you know... I mean, we live in post-Reformation times, and we have done for quite a few centuries now, so referring to me as a saint is perhaps, you know, overly Catholic. That's what I'd suggest about that. Most people do call me Santa.
What's the deal with that?
Well, we've all, you know, you've probably... What's your nickname?
I'm just Dan in it, like, because I'm Dan Brown, so people just shorten it to Dan.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Some people actually go with the full thing and say Dan Brown, but that's up to them. I don't run around like you do, going like, everyone call me Santa now, come on.
Have you seen me recently? I don't run around.
I haven't, because you're in a wardrobe, so...
I don't run around.
You don't run around.
No.
What's the bit?
That was where I started to lose the accent.
Oh, so you got a bit of a erratic accent then. Where are you originally from? It sounds Scottish.
I'm from Perth originally.
Okay. What were you doing there?
I was on holiday in Australia, and then I went back to Perth in Scotland, which is where my family's from.
That's a good reference. How long did it take you to get here? Because Lapland's a bit far away from Lincoln, England. UK.
Aye, it is. But luckily, I've got a team of elite reindeer jockeys that can.
That you're flogging. You're just like, hey, come on, get on with it, get
Yeah.
faster.
Well, have you ever wondered, like, you know jockeys, right?
No,
No,
I'm not
have you
aware.
never met a jockey?
I've never met a jockey, and that's probably true of most people, I think.
I don't think it is. I think you're the isolated one here. Anyway, so like, your jockeys are quite small, right?
I've heard.
Elves are quite small.
Right, same thing.
So
Then.
elves are like elite jockeys. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. That's why elves are the. I did a lot of research before setting my heart on Lapland as a place from which to run my business.
Yeah.
And basically the people are great at riding reindeer. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know this was a thing. So, so these elves, they get up on these reindeer
Aye.
and they ride them. Are they? So they're at the head of your sleigh.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm the head of the sleigh. Like,
Well, no, but yeah, I see. Yeah. So I don't understand that bit because I thought the elves were mainly at the workshop building these presents.
oh, aye, they've all got one job. That seems very sustainable, doesn't it?
Yeah. Does it? Because what about robots? They're coming in now. So are you going to be using robots? And then the elves are like, right, we're out of a job now.
I think a lot of people appreciate the human touch that Christmas,
I don't.
Christmas brings. But there is, I've certainly been considering getting robots in for perhaps like children who I don't give as much of a shit about.
So you just have you seem very against certain children. Like you've got your own personal views on them, and that's affecting the presents you make and the
Aye.
effect you have on them. So why is that?
No one loves all the children equally. Like,
Oh, okay.
well, everyone prefers their own children, but I don't have any children. So
You don't have any children?
no.
Ever thought about having children?
Well, no, because I'm surrounded by elves.
So you're just using them as your children?
Well, no, but like you can't breed with elves. That'd be like, yeah.
Well, you got
That'd be-
Mrs. Claus, haven't you?
No.
No.
Are you talking about the lewd accusations in like all the tabloids and stuff that I've got like
No.
sort of mistress on the side?
I was reading about that, and I was a bit concerned because I've been reading about you, if that's all right to say. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, well, that's fine. A lot of people, read about me in children's books and so on.
Well, I wasn't reading children's books. I was reading the proper stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not a child. It's now for you to stop presuming that I am. So yeah, I was just reading about that and you and having an affair. So come on then, spill the beans.
There's nothing to spill, mate. Like I've never had a partner. It's quite a lonely life being Santa. No one wants to go out with someone who's like their main motivation is to make random strangers happy. Like that's not a good and productive way to go about an intimate relationship with one other human being. If you're focusing on the wider world and trying to provide presents for everybody 364 days of the year,
Okay. Well, maybe you should get out there more then. Just.
But yeah, but that would ruin Christmas.
Ah.
There's a lot of societal pressure for Christmas is this like, especially in the Western world, Christmas is this like this staple thing. It has to happen every year, and if it doesn't happen, then a lot of people would they'd probably kill themselves.
Can we not have a reserve Santa that can come in and just be like, right, I'll take over for you this year. You can have a year off.
But what if I can't let the standards drop. That's what I'm saying.
That's why you spend a year training them, and then
yeah. But what year? So the year I spend training them, when is that that's the year Christmas is gonna have to be cancelled?
No, because you could just still do it. Just
Yeah, but then standards would drop because
Nah,
I
they
wouldn't
wouldn't.
be. No, I wouldn't be focusing my full attention on the main goal, which is
to give
producing-
certain presents to certain children.
hey,
Okay. What else have you been doing in the year? Because obviously next week it's Christmas. So, what do you do in the lead up to that? What do you do in like June? Is there much you do then? Because is it more like paperwork?
Well, you've got to think about, so we've reached now, now as we're recording this, you've hit the end of the manufacturing process and you're thinking more about the packaging and the delivery.
Presents are ready.
Yeah, the manufacturing process takes quite a lot of time, so we kind of tend to start that around, May, June time, but the rest of the year you've got to think about your suppliers and where are you going to get all your plastics and your presents from,
Do you recycle?
Well, we don't really have much waste, to be honest. Most of it...
Doubt that.
Yeah, if there's, waste, that goes out to the really naughty children, like offcuts and stuff like that.
Build it yourself.
Yeah.
You filthy animals.
Well, why do you get those lonely old men who really like magazines where you have to, you get a piece every week and you have to build it up. Those were the naughty children, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's where that started.
Oh, I see. So those magazines were like, right, we need to.
They saw a market which was
we need to take
growing up
advantage of
naughty
that.
children, and they just ran with it. It's very clever.
Was getting coal ever actually a thing?
I mean, in the 1800s, it was kind of getting coal was actually a good thing because it helped poor families to heat their houses and
Stick
so
it in
on.
your fire.
Yeah.
So
but,
at that point, were you not giving coal to poor families?
No,
because you're against
coal
poor.
used to be a good gift to give, but that's what I'm saying. You've got to think about in that start of the year period. You've got to think about your suppliers, where society is going for the next year. Like this year, a lot of cuddly gorillas have gone out because since Harambe, gorillas have been the thing for 2016. Next year, everyone will have forgotten about Harambe. There'll be something else.
Nah, never forgetting it.
They will forget. Everyone forgets.
Even gorillas.
You see, well, the thing is people say they won't forget, but if they don't forget, then it makes your job as a Santa figure. It makes it very dull because you'll be making the same things all the time. Look at the guy who makes all the poppies. You've never heard of him because he's just he's very dull. All he does is make paper/plastic poppies. It's not and while everyone remembers the day, it's not an interesting. There's not interesting merchandise. It's not good for your personal brand. That's what I'm saying.
No, I guess it's not. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. I mean, I'm looking after my own personal brand.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a team, obviously, but you've got to look after your own personal brand, especially when you've only got a few hours a year. When you're making
Active.
when you're in the limelight.
This is your mark. Here we go. How does that go then? How does that all go down? The night of Christmas Eve, you're flying around. How do you get that all done? How do you get to every country? Because a lot of people have debated about this. You'd have to be going at ridiculous speeds, impossible speeds to do it. So,
well, you've never met any elf jockeys. You've never even met any jockeys. How do you know what speeds we can go at?
Well, I just know that it's basically impossible. So, at some point, you're going to have to tell us that you don't actually do this, or you're going to have to tell us how you do this, because I
You know what? No. People always ask me this in interviews. Admittedly, interviews tend to be in more spacious studios, but I'm not complaining.
You work with what you got, Santa.
Well, exactly. That's why I've got so many fucking elves.
Oh,
But there's.
stay out. Come on.
Don't interrupt me. You're only gonna put me off. There's only most of the time on Christmas. I'm getting shit faced because it's when you get to
All that stuff people are leaving out.
when you get to the end. Also, when you get to the end of your year at work, you tend to go out and have a drink with your mates. Apart from I don't have any, so I just get shit faced on my own in my sleigh.
Just in your sleigh.
Hey,
Just
it is It is the joyride of the year. Let's not piss about.
Well, you've been pissing about, haven't you? By the sounds of it.
Hey.
So that still doesn't explain how you do it.
Well, I don't know, because I'm
You don't
shit-faced
know.
most of the time.
So somehow you just...
I'll leave it to somebody. I'll leave that bit to somebody else. Like I said, I've got a team.
You're leaving a lot to everyone else. Sounds like what you're doing is, right, elves, do your shit.
I'm a brand mascot, mostly. Like, you've got to have a recognisable figure at the head of the brand. Like,
you're just sitting there getting all fat all year, and then it gets to the night. You don't even do anything. You just get drunk and let someone else do it. Who knows who?
do you think Ronald McDonald is responsible for, cattle farming, making buggers, general deforestation, actually, that is, generally associated with the manufacture of meat products, Does he do all that? Does he do... No, he's just a guy.
It's a good point. I'm still worried that the whole tradition of Christmas actually comes down to Santa Claus being drunk in his sleigh whilst other people, or whatever they are running about doing his job.
Well,
that's just what I'm worried about.
That's kind of why I try and reject the Saint Nick label, because it is...
You're not a saint.
No, I've never claimed to be a saint.
That's fair enough.
What's his name? That Pope guy, Leo something, I think his name was, and he was just gearing up to get like the best presents. He's such a fucking arse licker.
Yeah,
and
you're not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of him. And he's well dead now, but
yeah, well dead.
He's like, he couldn't have
been more dead.
Aye.
What are you gonna say?
No, I mean clearly your sentence was much better, so we'll leave it at that, I suppose.
All right, okay, good. We'll leave it at that. Let's not. All right, I think there's a bit of tension here, and I want to settle it down a bit. Is that okay?
Aye, go ahead.
Do you have any hobbies?
I mean, it's kind of hard. Again, I don't get a lot of spare time because...
No.
Well, I am mostly a brand mascot. I do, like I said, I involve myself in the planning.
I am a brand. You're not Shia LaBeouf or fucking Kanye.
No,
I'm a brand.
Neither of those people have had a consistent brand for nearly 200 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's that question I originally asked. Are you the original Santa? Is there no one else? There's no one after you. There's no one before you. It will always be you. Okay.
Aye.
What? You are?
Yeah. Always me, mate. It's always been me. Why would you think it's ever been someone else?
I don't know. I thought maybe, at some point it's like, right.
What part of my physique says, oh, he's new?
I mean, I don't know. You got a big old beard, haven't you? Have you still got that? I can't tell. You're in a wardrobe.
Right, well, you can probably, like, I tried to shave on the way in, but like, it's just
go straight back.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, and that's why I never bothered to shave before I go out on the sleigh on Christmas, because it would, lengthen the Christmas process probably all the way through into the subsequent year.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. What's, like, your favourite film, then? You must have watched films. Because if you're that busy, surely you found some time at some point to catch up on a couple of films.
I've watched films. You're right.
No, this is what you did.
No, you just made that noise.
Well, I was repeating what you said.
All right. But yeah, I've watched films. Plenty of films. I quite like animated films.
Yeah.
But I don't really rate Christmas movies like.
Not correct. Not like realistic. They don't depict it very well.
They never ask me for permission. Like, you compared me to Kanye there, which is high praise. But you wouldn't make a movie about Kanye without Kanye's permission, not unless you were seriously looking to get fucked up.
That's true.
True. You wouldn't do the same. You wouldn't do the same to anyone else, any other respectable authority figure.
Yeah.
apart from Santa, and I don't think it's fair.
So shall we start a campaign today that's like filmmakers around the world respect Santa, get his permission before you start making these films about him and his work and his brand?
Well, I feel like that's a wee bit too authoritarian. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to make these films. I just feel like there's a lot of films that are kind of the same thing, and like they just they have like a twist, which is like Santa is fat and lazy. A lot of them, or
Yeah.
Santa is evil.
We haven't established that.
Very rarely do you actually make a film where Santa is good and he's also the main character.
No, yeah.
Name one.
I mean, Santa Claus the movie.
I've not seen it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Have you seen any of these? You're just presuming.
I mean, I am mostly just presuming, but
Yeah.
I've read reviews like.
Have you seen Elf? Have you seen what's the other one? I forget it. But there's others. Unbelievably.
Right. Well, again, all using me to further their own political gains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not think Will Ferrell's got a political motive?
Probably. I mean, most of the time he's just being a bit daft, isn't he? On screen, he's like, oh.
That's that's the character that he's trying to portray. But like, do you think he really is that daft?
No, I don't.
So
I don't
what's his aim?
Well, he must have something there. He must be trying to be like, hey, look, I can be an elf as well as being an anchorman.
But why would you pretend to be more stupid than you really are? Like, that suggests that he's got a motive that we're not allowed to know about.
Well, in film terms, that's always happened, hasn't it? That's the funniest form of comedy. Being daft and stupid is really funny on screen. Like, that's just the way they've established it. I'm not saying that's true.
Who's they?
Just, the bodies that be out there, you know them.
No,
You probably work closely with them.
No, again, I'm no big on franchising in terms of films, because film is not unless you've got like people like Spielberg or you're not gonna make a lot of money off that. Like,
No.
Whereas toys, you make toys, you got dollar.
What? So wait, you're getting paid for this?
Hey, yeah. Well,
Who's paying you?
I'm
Parents?
not allowed to talk about that.
You're not allowed to talk about that.
No. Well, do you think I was doing this for free?
I was under the impression that you were, because it's on the the.
Well,
Christmas...
how did you think that was financially sustainable?
Well, I just thought,
How
Christmas
did you?
spirit.
You complained earlier. That you complained earlier that I was paying my elves, and now you expecting me to do this for free.
I just thought, it's the Christmas spirit. You come along to my podcast. It's a fairly small podcast. And you just sit in my wardrobe for a bit and we'd talk. I didn't think, at no point were you like, right, here's my base fee.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not charging you. That's not where I'm making my money.
Oh, where are you making money from then?
Toys. We've literally just had this discussion.
Right, okay. I haven't got any toys for you.
No, that's not. I don't get paid in toys. That's no
You
thing.
make the toys.
I make the toys.
Someone buys them.
And I distribute them for a fee.
Who's paying you, though?
Well, the toy companies.
Ah, so you revealed.
I did, but that's mostly because I've got bored of this conversation already. Like you basically took the Paxman technique there, which was asking questions repeatedly until I got bored of them and changed my tactic.
Yep. And just gave in.
Aye, but like, toy companies want to have brand leverage the same way that I do.
Sure.
So they pay me a fee in order to distribute these toys to children. And obviously, they don't want to be associated with bad children, which is why all the best toys have to go to the best children. what I do is I've got a tiered system,
Yeah.
not a turd system. That's very different.
Is that a different one?
Aye.
It's like
But I've got a tiered system. I'll keep saying it this way around. I've got a tiered system
good.
of children, and businesses pay by the tier. So if they want the top tier children, then they're going to
invest in
pay
that.
top dollar. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I see. I don't understand what's in it for them, really. But
why would you not?
Okay.
Saying so, because if the best children have the best toys, all the other children aspire to be the best children.
Okay.
So they want the higher toys to become the best children.
I see. I see. Yeah, I can.
And that's why the worst children get all the offcuts. Because the toy companies really want to make it clear that nobody wants to be the worst children.
No.
You want to be the best children.
Absolutely.
It's a very meritocratic system, really.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm glad we got to that. Look, I think we should take a break so you can, I don't know, get out of that wardrobe for a bit, because I know it's a bit tight for you in there.
I could probably do with some festive mulled wine.
I ain't got any, so sorry about that. Not having any of that. So we'll get to the break. There'll be a little jingle. You'll like that. Jingle.
I'm very jingly.
Yeah.
I'm not even wearing any trousers in here.
Good. I wouldn't want you to. Alright, here goes the advert in a bit.
Mr. Scrooge, sir, please,
What is it, Cratchit?
I just wondered if I could put more coal on the fire.
How dare you even approach me? You must return to your desk immediately.
Mr. Scrooge, we have very similar voices, don't we?
Yes, but that is not for you or I to decide who speaks first. You're speaking. I am speaking now. I have to take a breath.
Oh, I am so weak. Please, just give me the day off.
I will never give you the day off. Now back to work.
Oh, poor little, my son is going to die a horrible death.
You get back to work or else,
fuck it. I've not seen the ghost yet, but just have the day off. It's Christmas, isn't it? What? Why? Oh, why, Mr. Scrooge? You are so generous all of a sudden. I do not know. But you must, whatever. It's Christmas, isn't it? Hey!
End scene. Oosh. I would invest in whatever that advert was. I don't know about you, Santa. How would you feel about that?
Well, I'm not really an investing kind of person. Like,
No?
I've got it. Well, no, people invest in me.
Okay, so you're okay. So you don't have any.
It's a high risk business, you know.
Well, yeah, it is, because you've got to get it out there on this one day and one day only.
Right.
It wouldn't be much good if you got it out on the 23rd. Sorry, I'm allergic to
Festivities?
No, just saying.
No, I was saying you've probably got festivities. It's a debilitating disease.
Is it?
Aye.
Okay. I didn't realise that. So that's why people go a bit delirious during Christmas.
Hey, like, why do you really think that people would actively and willingly go shopping when it's busy? Like,
no, that's I guess
when
not.
it like everyone else is going shopping, let's go shopping too. That doesn't make any sense.
See, I have managed to sort everything out. Like, basically a week ago, I had everything sorted. See, because I've this is the first time I've ever done this, and
You've never been alive during Christmas before.
no, I always go into like a form of
Hibernation?
yeah, basically. So
That's one of the symptoms of festivities.
yeah,
Mhm.
I've had it every year. This is the first year that I'm going to experience Christmas properly. Every other year, it's just been like I remember having a few dreams that I imagined what was happening because my family were basically they put me on the table. I'm asleep, and they'd be doing their festivities, opening their presents, and then just trying to explain to me whilst I'm asleep what's happening, and I would take that in and form my dreams based on that. So that's only been my experience of Christmas. So I'm looking forward to actually experience it for real, unless I suddenly just fall asleep.
Yeah, what are your expectations?
I imagine from what I hear is everyone stands up in like their living room,
Right.
around a table, and they kind of start clapping together, and that clapping gets a bit quicker, and they all go, "Oh, Santa, Santa, come to us and give us our presents. Santa, give us our presents today." And then someone kind of does a little riff and goes, "Oh, Santa, you are my friend. Bring us the joys of Christmas." And that's how it goes from there. And then someone will go, "Right, bring in the presents." And there'll be like a drum. And it'll be like, boom, 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 boom. And here comes the first present. And then you'll say a little bit about who it's for. And you'll give the presents. And then there'll be a lot of that. And then there's a lot of noises to go with that.
Do you want me to do a few noises,
Yeah,
like traditional Christmas noises?
Have you got a few Christmas noises in you?
Yeah, I've got
What?
That's for when you're like plucking the bird. You know the bird what you eat.
What do you mean you're plucking the bird?
That you eat the bird.
Most people don't do that though, because it's already dead and they've already got it. They're not actually getting a live bird, plucking it before it's dead, and then just... I don't know what you're talking about, really.
I thought you'd never experienced Christmas before.
Well, no, I this is just from my dreams again. I'm able to pick up quite a bit.
We don't all live in a dream world like you do, you know?
Well, I don't.
You've got to take the bird, pluck the bird, like that.
Right.
Then you've got to wring its neck, like that. That's another great noise of Christmas.
Yeah.
You have a go. You do it.
I have a go at that noise.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit too guttural. It's only a bird. It's only a bird. It's not
only
like
a bird. It's not.
You're not strangling another human being.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that myself. So okay, that's some of the noises. Yeah. I guess I do vaguely remember hearing that. Another thing is there is a bit of silence for about an hour, where everyone's just on I guess they're just on the sofas, just relaxing.
Yeah, meditating over the true meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I gather from Christmas. So I'm interested to experience that myself. Maybe I'll come up with a song myself for it, to just bring to the table, as it were. So, yep, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's quite an introspective time of year, I think. You've got to look at yourself and think, a lot of the time, what Christmas truly means to people is kind of, it's more about who you are than who I am as because at the end of the day, it's not just corporate.
No, it's far more than that.
Aye,
it's a holiday to most people.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to work.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So do various other impoverished people, but
yeah,
fuck them.
Yeah, well, yeah. Exactly. We've established that today, if nothing else, that you're a bit against anyone who's unfortunate, shall we say.
Well, the thing is, like I said, you've got... I make my money on good children. If there are less good children in a year...
You keep saying these good children and bad children. There's no really definition for that. It's a bit...
There are multiple criteria.
Okay. What's the criteria then to qualify you to be a good one, or to put yourself in the bad pile of children? Is there anything to that?
I mean, again, it varies from year to year because of
Yeah.
the societal standards, and it's kind of driven by what the advertising industry
Right.
want to portray. Like, you've seen adverts with kids in them, right?
I am aware of these adverts, yeah.
Those kids, they don't regularly like punch other kids,
No.
for example.
Right.
Whereas, in perhaps years gone by, or years in the future even, then you might see adverts with kids punching other kids.
Really?
So, are you trying to like what are you trying to say here? That your standards are like the universal standards that will exist throughout the entirety of time?
I'm just trying to be.
That's ridiculous, mate.
No, I'm just trying to be on the fence here and just.
Well, that's probably a very uncomfortable position to sit in.
It is. I usually bring like a pillow. Not that it does much, because all it does is like shape to the fence essentially. So it just got a cushioned spike up my arse, really.
But no, like there are standards that you'll see in advertising for what children should be, and children that fall short of that in various ways will fall further down the categories.
Okay. Well,
like, and it varies from year to year. If it's think about. I mean, it's been at the moment we're in the boom time. Like more and more kids are good kids because you've got like nowadays kids are allowed to be more like what they want to be. They don't have to like work down a mine or something like that.
no.
Unless you're like foreign or something.
Sure. Okay. See, because I've never experienced Christmas, because I've hibernated through every single one.
Hey.
I don't know if I've ever qualified for the good presents or not. Do you have a record somewhere that tells me if I did or not?
Not like an identifiable record. Like you will be you would have been assigned like a random integer.
What? Just because I was like invalid to?
No. You'd have been assigned. All children are assigned a random integer.
Okay.
Like a just a random number.
Yeah.
And that we don't keep statistics on where children fall good and bad every year. At the end of the year, those stats are wiped and we start again.
Yeah.
Because it's in our interest to move more children up the scale. If we were going to collect it, we were going to collect the data as like an average from across their entire childhood. Like, how would that affect if like a 10-year-old like kills somebody?
Yeah.
Like, if we were going to collect it as an average, they'd never get presents, but like they would just like 1 year they wouldn't get good presents, but then like by the time they were the next year they've still got every chance to become a good child again, as long as they're no like poor or something.
That's a good system. So at what point do you cut it off? Like, because it's for children, so what age is it? Like, no, you're done, time to move on, Christmas isn't for you anymore?
Well, that is in itself one of the criteria, because at the end of the day, as you become more adult, your principles they tend to be less less fixed. They're more fluid in what you believe and don't believe, and so that's more likely to put you further down the scale. So most adults would agree that at Christmas they don't really get good gifts.
No.
That's usually because they're lower down the bottom of the chain.
Right. Yeah.
But like, luckily, and worldwide, we've got an insanely growing population. So I'm still making my money in fees.
Okay. So. Okay, I see. So if you are, say, 18, but you still believe in Christmas, you still believe in Santa.
Hey, you'll still be quite
presents.
far up the hierarchy.
So that kind of, a lot of people have debated that, and films have as well, that you need to believe in Santa in order for it to happen. So that's actually true, and that's nice to know. Don't you think?
A nice tag question. Yes, I do.
You good? I'm getting to the heart of problems and Christmas specifically, really.
Do you think Christmas is a problem?
I don't think it's a problem. I like it. It's good.
So why did you lump it in
I
being-
don't know. Felt like doing that. Sometimes you just gotta find the problems in life to truly understand it.
Have you got a lot of problems in life?
No, not really. One of my problems right now is he gonna be all right in that wardrobe? And are you all right in that wardrobe?
Hey, I mean, I'm not getting any bigger.
No.
Like, I'm not exactly
That'd be
likely
a challenge,
to
wouldn't
expand. Hey, I'm not likely to expand out of the wardrobe on account of my massive girth.
That'd be interesting.
Hey,
Just exploded out of my wardrobe. I would like to see that, but
so like I was,
right,
I think you've actually got quite a spacious wardrobe here.
yeah,
Hey, I mean, like, it's bigger than the dressing room that I was given, like, in order to prepare for this appearance.
yeah, we did give you that dressing room, which was basically just a pillar inside a big old pillar, and you just had to squeeze yourself in there, and
It was the inside of a tree. Let's not
Okay.
dispute.
yeah, it was. I tried to jazz it up as something else, but it definitely was just a tree. So look, we're coming towards the end of the show. Have you got anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote? Are you just going to promote Christmas, or is there something else you want to?
I don't think Christmas needs promoting.
You don't
like,
think
a lot of the
everyone's
time,
aware?
I think everyone's pretty aware. Like, Bob Geldof asked it many years ago. Are they aware that it is the time of Christmas?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Hey, and I think the answer is yes. Yes, they are, Bob Geldof.
Of course they are.
And I mean, I think that it's kind of sad to have watched Bob, who's he's a long-time friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sad to have watched him sort of decline in such a way that, like, I mean, he had a pupper once,
I thought you said he had a puppy, like a
No, he had a porpoise.
A porpoise.
Like a
porpoise.
yeah, like a small dolphin.
Yeah.
Aye. And that's declined as well. I mean, he doesn't even
do dolphins.
It doesn't even own the aquarium.
He's got rid of it. He's done with that. Right, I moved on from helping aquatic animals. That was my thing.
Well,
for a
yeah,
bit,
that was his first thing, and then
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm gonna try and, make people aware that it's Christmas," and I think he's done that pretty well. But now he's got nowhere else to go, basically.
No, I don't think in this time he is relevant anymore.
No, and
Unfortunately.
it's a shame because
Yeah, I mean.
obviously Bob and I have lived for quite a while.
Oh, wait a minute. So Bob is like he's not the age we perceive him to be.
Well, what age do you perceive him to be?
I don't know. He must be touching 65.
I mean, I had a couple of zeros, mate.
I had a couple of zeros.
Hey.
6,500.
Oh no, one at the start and one at the end.
One at the So okay, that's a fair old age.
Hey,
Yeah.
around about then. Like, after a while, you stop, especially when
What's
you're
the point?
focusing on Christmas and small dolphins so much. You lose. There's no point in celebrating your birthday.
No, I guess there isn't. It gets to a point where it's like, right, we're done with that. Like once you get past 120, probably. So what's the point? No point in counting. No one cares.
Well, with normal humans, it's kind of different. Like, you do see a lot of, what is the oldest woman in the world now? She's like 130 something, I think.
Touching that, I think.
Yeah, but like, and so they celebrate her birthday because she's kind of like, it's like a
You're
dank
still
meme.
alive.
Yeah,
Barely.
like, and that's because it's kind of impressive. Whereas, like, we're just expected to live forever, which is quite a burden.
Are you actually going to live forever?
I
Is
mean,
that your thing?
Well, I've not got any grand plans to die.
To die? You haven't
No.
sorted that out yet.
No, I haven't. Like, I've not booked it in.
A lot of people do. Bob Geldof, is he planning on dying? Or is he just going to keep going?
I mean, I think at some point we're going to have to break it to him that it might be like about time for him to shuffle off this mortal coil.
So he's a lot older than you then? Because you said you were...
I mean, so like in the Bible, before Jesus, you had like prophets.
Yeah.
So there's Santa, and then like before that, there was Bob Geldof, who was making everyone aware that it was Christmas. That was the point, The prophets made everyone aware that Jesus was coming.
Yeah.
Then Bob Geldof made everyone aware that Santa was coming.
Okay.
That's the point.
So at the end of the day, what we have for what we consider modern day Christmas and the celebrations that will come with that, it's thanks to Bob Geldof.
Right, yeah. He spearheaded the movement.
That's excellent to know. All right, Santa, I know you're busy at the moment. I know you've got a lot to sort. You've got a week until Christmas. So everyone...
Oh, guess what? That failed to record. So, just gonna say, have a good Christmas and listen to it next year. Boy.